Every year, thousands of US permanent residents or green card holders get an unwelcome surprise at the airport, whether it be denied entry or they are flagged for abandonment of their residency after taking a trip abroad. It's not always because of fraud or criminal issues. Often it is because travelers did not know the rules about how long they can stay outside the US, what documents they need to bring, or what red flags immigration officers are trained to look for. If you are a green card holder planning an international trip, this could be the most important thing you listen to or watch before you buy that ticket. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down 1. Key rules for green card travel, including the 6-month and 1-year limit rules. We'll dive deeper into that later on. Documents you must carry beyond just your green card, scenarios that trigger extra scrutiny at the US ports of entry, how to protect your status if you plan extended travel, and last but most importantly, we're going to be looking at real-life examples of travelers who faced problems and how they overcome their mistakes. By the end of today's video, you'll know exactly what to do before you book your next flight so that you can protect your status and avoid costly and stressful surprises. So, stay tuned. Welcome back to the Next Level Life Hacks, where we take the next steps needed to grow towards our financial freedom and our success. Now, the first thing that we're going to be looking at is understanding the 6-month and 1-year rules. Now, CBP, which stands for Customs and Border Protection, use this time spent outside of the US as one of the main indicators of whether or not you have abandoned your permanent residency status. Now, let's look at the different instances regarding how long you spend outside of the US. Now, if you spend under 6 months abroad, that is usually safe, but frequent travel may still raise red flags. My personal example and experience is that when I was flying frequently under 6 months abroad, it raised a red flag and I was brought to secondary inspection. Not a good experience. Now, over 6 months, but less than 1 year, you may face secondary inspection, but it increases the chances of it, but you really need to still prove that you have your primary residence in the United States. For 1 year or more, your green card is usually considered abandoned unless you have what is known as a re-entry permit. Now, if you want us to dive deeper into what a re-entry permit is, then put it in the comment section below and I'll consider doing a follow-up content for that. Now, let's look at an example so that we can bring this point home and make it more relatable. Now, Maria spent 7 months visiting family abroad. She returned to the United States and was questioned for 40 minutes about her job, her home, her bank accounts. She was allowed back in, but she was warned that next time she should get a re-entry permit. Now, my next advice to you is always bring the right documents. Your green card alone is not always sufficient. Here's what else you should bring along with you. Bring your valid green card, yes. Check for the expiration date though before traveling. Also, you should bring your home country's passport because this is usually required by most airlines and for re-entry into your home country. You also need to bring proof of your US ties, like your lease or mortgage agreement, your pay stubs, US tax returns, or your pay stubs, or your bank statements. Now, this shows that you have a job, family, ties in the United States, and this is critical if CBP questions your intent to return. Now, what we're going to be looking at is also watching out for the red flags that you might raise with CBP. Now, even short trips can cause issues. Example, 4 to 5 months abroad several times per year. Also, if there is no US address or job in the US, then you might find yourself into problems. If you also don't file your US taxes as a resident, that's a problem. And the next red flag is your statement to officers. You can very well incriminate yourself. During your conversation with the CBP agent, you need to be careful as to what you say because you might suggest that you actually live abroad full-time and not in the United States. Now, let's look at our next scenario. John went overseas for 7 months. He actually sold his US residency in the United States and started renting an apartment in his home country. This immediately raised a red flag with CBP, and they gave him an NTA, which is a notice to appear in immigration court, which resulted in costly time and expenses and had put his green card in jeopardy. My next advice for you is to plan extended travel the correct way. If you know that you will be outside for more than 6 to 12 months, you need to apply for a re-entry permit, or what is known as an I-131 form. And this is to be done before you leave, and it usually is valid for up to 2 years. I would advise you that you keep filing your US tax returns as a US resident, and I also advise that you maintain a US address, a bank account, and if possible employment. This shows that you are still domiciled in the United States even though you are temporarily overseas. Now, what do you do if you are questioned at the airport? My advice is that you stay calm, answer truthfully, always, and be ready to show proof of ties to the US. Remember, never you lie or misrepresent any information, because that can trigger a removal proceeding. Now, if you are given a notice to appear or an NTA, you need to consult an immigration attorney immediately. And remember, if you need any consultation in immigration matters, you can always contact our agency, which their information will be in the description box below, or it should be on the screen here somewhere. Now, what are the final takeaways from this content today? Traveling as a green card holder is a privilege, but it comes with rules. Before booking your next flight, you need to 1. Check your card's expiration date. 2. Plan the length of your trip carefully. 3. Gather proof of your US ties. And 4. Apply for a re-entry permit if you will be gone long term. Now, these simple steps can make you keep your status and give you the peace of mind that you need when you return through the US Customs. I thank you for the privilege of the time that you have spent here with me today. If you know of anyone else that has a green card and they are worried and they need information before they plan their next travel, please share this content with them so that they can be notified and so that they can make an informed decision. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.